Hello, welcome to another video in our a6500 video series. I'm Dan Bates from Bates Photography. Today I'm trying to show everybody how they can get, if they desire so, GPS working on the a6500 mirrorless camera. In short, Sony eliminated GPS location from their smaller body cameras. The next, the a6000, 6300, 6500, I believe their new point and shoot, the RX100, they don't have GPS built into them. Some would argue that it's not necessary because a world traveler or a photographer working for National Geographic would never use a crop sensor body to take his photographs with, and therefore he'd have a expensive full frame, probably a Nikon or a Canon, and this wouldn't be an issue. Well, that's fine, and I get that, but there are plenty of reasons that somebody using a crop frame camera, crop body camera, in this case we're talking about the Sony a6500, that there's plenty of reasons they would want geotagging. Family trips. Again, I mentioned later in this video, because I'm recording this after the main video, me and my wife are traveling this spring, and a lot of what we're shooting is going to look very similar, so it's important to know which things were taken where. This may be a camera you have in your go bag as a professional photographer as a backup, and you start snapping away pictures, you know, you're somewhere off in a distant country and some stuff's going down. You may want to keep track of which picture came from what location. Just as a hobbyist, you're out taking nature pictures, you're hiking around and you spot a snowy owl. You know, it'd be important to know where exactly that was so you could return to the scene or post it if you're on a bird watching forum. There's plenty of reasons why you would want geotagging. You could be a geocacher. You could go hide a little film box with an army man in it under a tree trunk somewhere. You snap a shot of it. You have your locations for your geotagging log. There's plenty of reasons. It's a handy feature, so we're going to get into it. A couple things you're going to need. You have to go to the App Store or the Google Play Store and download the Sony Play Memories mobile app. Everything's going to be linked through there. So we're going to start this video showing you basically installing the app and what you have to do to initially link your camera to the app. When you first open that app, the location link is not going to be an option on the menu. Once it sees your camera and speaks with your camera through the Wi-Fi, then it knows it's capable, and then it gives you the option to turn on location link, and then we'll go further into setting that up and syncing, pairing with Bluetooth, which don't get discouraged if you try this and the first one or two tries the camera does not successfully pair. Just keep at it. The first time I ever did it, it took me 3 tries. And ever since then, a practice run through this video and then the actual making of the video, it paired just fine. So I think Bluetooth in general can be a little buggy. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If so, please like. If you would like to see more content like this, and we have a bunch of it coming, specifically with the a6500, please subscribe. And if you know anybody who could benefit from this, somebody who was wishing they could have geotagging on their a6500 or other Sony camera, please share. Enjoy the video. So the first thing we have to do to start this whole process is to download the Sony Memories Play Memories app. So you go into your Google Play or the App Store. I'm on an iPhone, so it's the App Store for me. And all you gotta just do a search for Sony, and it'll be the first thing that comes up. Obviously, I had this already. I uninstalled it for the purposes of this video. So we'll re-download it. It's a pretty quick download, especially if you're on Wi-Fi. Alright, so now we're going to open it up. And you're going to have a couple of welcome screens. And all these welcome screens is basically, you know, I agree to all this nonsense. This is just survey stuff, these next couple of things. As far as photography is my main, videography is my main. They're both my main. They're my sideline businesses. They're both my sideline businesses, or they're a hobby. Photography is a hobby, but this is all just survey. Who's using their app? I always just do sideline business, just because that's basically what it is for us. Then it's going to ask you, what do you like to shoot? Okay, so would like to access your photos? Obviously, yes. I don't allow notifications. They just kind of bug me. So now here we are at the main menu. And what you're going to see here is that there is no menu item for location link. So what has to happen is, for this phone to realize, or for this app to realize that you're working with a piece of equipment that has that feature, or that is capable of that feature, it has to talk to that camera first. So what we are looking to do here is to snap a photo with our a6500 or 63 or whatever camera you might be using for this that has this capability. We're going to snap a photo, and then we are going to, in the wireless menu, send it to the smartphone, and that's how it's going to link to this camera. After that, the Wi-Fi connection is irrelevant. It's going to be hooked up through Bluetooth, and as long as the app's open, every time you turn that camera on, boom, it's linked, and you're getting your GPS information. So let's go back to the phone, or I'm sorry, let's go back to the camera, and we'll see what we have to do to get started. Okay, guys, so we need to just get a picture, any picture, it doesn't matter, it's nonsense, just over to the app so it can recognize the phone. So we're just going to take a snapshot here. These phones are literally just laid on our desk, one of our workstations in here, and I'm taking a picture of a water bottle. So what I have to do is I have to send that to the smartphone now to get the link up. So we're going to hit Menu, and in our wireless settings on the first page, the first item on the first page is Send to Smartphone. We're going to hit Center button to activate that. I want to hit Select on Smartphone. I think it's just easier. So now it's Wi-Fi standing by, and then what we have here is a QR code. Now certainly you could take your camera and you could scan that QR code, the camera from your smartphone, and it's going to install a profile on your phone. Problem with that is that a lot of times you still have to then go in and manually link it up Wi-Fi. So to avoid all that, if you just hit the trash button, the bottom corner button here, C3, which I know my lighting's a little dark, but the bottom right button on your camera, trash can, if you hit that, it's going to switch it to this. So now when you go to your Wi-Fi menu on your smartphone, this will show up. So you click what obviously is your camera. What you're seeing there, direct T31, yours will be different, and then it's going to ask you to enter this password. Now passwords are case sensitive, so you will have to do capital S, capital A, lower or M, lowercase a, capital G, and so on. Your password will be different. And once you do that, you'll always be able to link Wi-Fi. And again, the Wi-Fi linkage for this is just to send the phone over. Once we're in and we have that location link option in our menu, that'll happen through Bluetooth. So this is just for the intensive purposes of getting the camera linked over. So let's go back to the phone now and see what we need to do. Okay, so what we have to do now is go into our Wi-Fi settings. So you go to Settings, Wi-Fi, and you'll see the camera come up. There it is there, Direct T3 E1 ILC. Yours may be different. So when I click on this, it's going to jump off of my home network and load the camera. And once it does that, we can then open the app. Now, for the purpose of this video, right now I am on my home network, Bates Motel, and when I switch to the camera, Bates Motel is going to disconnect, which is going to disable my Apple AirPlay that I'm recording the screen on my PC with. So you would just simply click where it says direct. It'll prompt you for that password. Enter the password as it is, and then you'll be linked. And anytime you go back to link up again, if you're sending photos to your phone, you shouldn't have to enter the password after that. It should just automatically be there. So hypothetically, I'm hitting direct T3E1, entering the password, and then I'll be linked. Okay, so the camera went to a screen that said it was sharing, and I opened my Play Memories app. And what happened was when I switched to the camera, I lost my link to the PC through the Apple AirPlay. So you missed what happened. But basically all that happened is when you then open up your Play Memories app, you see, it takes you to the screen, you see the picture that you have taken. You don't even have to transfer it. So you exit back out of the, you disconnect Wi-Fi, go back to your home network or whatever, and now this is the screen you're on. Suddenly, we have location information linkage. So we're going to click that. We're going to hit OK. We're going to activate the toggle, and we're going to hit OK again. It just tells you about the inconsistency of Bluetooth, things of that nature. Okay. Okay, so now we're back into our wireless. We're going to page 2 of our wireless settings, and we have Bluetooth settings. We're going to turn Bluetooth on. And then we're going to go to pairing. Actually, we're going to back out of there. We're going to location link on. Bluetooth settings, pairing. So now back to the smartphone. So back here on the phone now, we see the a6500 show up. And we're going to... Oop, I'm clicking the wrong thing. I'm clicking the mouse and not the phone. The a6500 says it's pairing. Set it to on. It is on. We're going to hit OK. Allow Play Memories to access your location. Even when you're not using the app, that is imperative. If you do not allow that, it will not work at all. And that's because as long as the app is running, like I said before, every time you turn that camera on, I'll demonstrate that, the phone just kicks on. It's linked. So we're going to hit allow. And we're set up. So on the camera side now, we say this device has been paired with iPhone. We're just going to hit OK. So this is done. We're going to get out of this menu. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take a second picture now of the same water bottle. And what's going to happen when we hit play, down here, right here, you see GPS information. So let's put it in the Lightroom and see what Lightroom does with it and how it affects Lightroom, or how it's shown in Lightroom. And then from there, I'll upload the picture to 500 pics just to see if it then recognizes the location as well, which it should. So back to the PC. All right, so we're going to launch Lightroom here and import these photos and see how they look, how they're presented and read as far as metadata goes. A little slow on the draw. Down to import. Alright, there's a couple of photos here from when I was tinkering, preparing for the video. So we're just going to really just do the two that we just took, basically. And we're going to import them. Should only take a second. Okay. Now, one of the very first things you're going to notice is right here. I keep my thumbnails big for calling purposes, but one of the first things you're going to notice is down in the corner there on the second picture, right here, you're going to see a little icon and it says GPS information. You'll notice the other one does not have one. When we scroll down to the bottom of our metadata, you see it's blank here. There is no GPS, but when we switch, there it is. It loads GPS. Now, you can either click this arrow or go up to the Maps tab. And the photos that you have data on, it's going to show you a little flag. And there we are. So that's our, it was taken here in our home office, and it shows up. So what I'm curious about is I'm going to go around a couple locations today, just snapping random photos here and there with the GPS tag open and see how it responds and how it shows up when I bring it back here to Lightroom. I'm also curious if we upload to one of our, whether it be 500 pics or any places that enable you to use location data, how it presents itself there. Will it show up as a tag? Will it list it as a GPS coordinate, or will it actually give like a city and state? So we'll see how that translates in these other apps. So here we are in 500 pics, or pixels, I say pics, it's actually 500pixels.com. And we're going to upload the video, well, the picture I should say, I'm making a video. Anyway, we're uploading the picture, and we're going to see how it translates and how it shows it. So it's going in now, and we already see that the location has a check mark on it. So let's click location and see what it says. And there we are. So it displays it the way it would in any map. You just get a little drop pin right where you are, and certainly enough, that's where we are. So I'll be interested to see other locations when we go back into Lightroom, see how it does it. Is it going to be a series of pins, or is it going to move per picture? And this stuff is useful. It's not everybody needs GPS locations, but if you're traveling, me and my wife are going to Savannah and Charleston in March, and we're going to be taking a lot of pictures, and they're both two beautiful historic cities. And there could potentially be some confusion of, oh, was that picture in Savannah or Charleston or somewhere along the way? With GPS location, problem solved. For everyday use, it may not be necessary, but it's a way to do it. Okay, so what I wanted to show you guys, why it's important to leave the app, or why it's important rather to say it's okay to use your location even when not using the app, is so anytime you're out in the field, you click your camera on, and just give it 1 second, there it is, you're connected. When you turn your camera off, you're disconnected. And that's why it's imperative. If it's not on all the time, it will not see the camera when you turn it on. Alright, so we're back from my little trip around the mall here, and we have a few photos. If I click on library, you see they all have geotags on them. I did some light editing here in Lightroom on them. So what's cool, so you have, that was just when I got in my car in the driveway, and as I was going around the different areas of the sky, it's kind of rainy and weird today, so the sky's a little funky. And so as you go over each picture, you see the little things bounce, and that's the yellow is what picture you have highlighted. And as you move around, picture to picture, the little icons here will bounce. So that's showing there's two here. That's the house. That's over on 168. So it's a neat little feature. It does work if geotagging is important to you. A lot of people are taking pictures, especially for assignments, and they're out and about and they're taking thousands of pictures. They like to have that stuff. If you're traveling, taking photos on a cross-country trip, it may be useful to have that stuff. For everyday videos, I'm not sure how useful it would be. But this is how you get it, and this works with the a6500. Works with the new Sony point-and-shoot, the RX, I think it's 100 or 1000. And it'll actually work with the 6300 and some of the other Sony cameras that do not have GPS. They eliminate that for the compact bodies to save some space. These little tricks here with the Play Memories app will, in fact, allow you to have this feature. So hopefully this video was informative and it helped you out. You got something out of it. As usual, we try to create quality content. educational stuff, and basically things that you don't really see on YouTube as it is already. So please, if you would, give us a thumbs up, like us, subscribe if you want to see more of this content. We have plenty of videos coming up in the next month, different reviews and different tutorials. My wife is working on some Lightroom workflows, just some basic Lightroom stuff, how she edits, and her edited pictures always look amazing. Just trying to do what we can do to give you guys good content and keep it interesting. Have a good day.